My name is Minette Norman. Today, I am an author and a speaker and a leadership consultant and advisor. I focus on inclusive cultures, inclusive leadership, and psychological safety. And the way I came to do this work was really my 30 years that I spent in the software industry in Silicon Valley. I started in Silicon Valley back in the early days of the software industry. My first job was writing the Photoshop 1.0 tutorial back when Adobe was just getting started. And I ended my career 30 years later as VP of engineering practice at Autodesk. And it was in that role that I got very interested in the topics of inclusive leadership and psychological safety and empathy and collaboration, because I realized that when I first became a manager, as many people do, it was because I was good as an individual contributor and I got promoted. And I didn't get much of an education in leadership. I didn't learn what it means to create an inclusive culture where everyone can thrive, where everyone can fully contribute and has a voice, and where we can innovate together. And all too often, I was part of teams where people held back because it didn't feel safe to speak up, because divergent perspectives were not truly welcome. And I vowed to change that while I was in leadership and then when I left the industry. I left the industry in 2019 and decided I wanted to start my own business to help more leaders across organizations and across industries do better. Because I believe that we can truly tap into the talent in our organizations in new ways by changing the culture. And changing the culture comes down to small behaviors repeated regularly. And although many of them can sound simple, simple does not mean easy. I believe we need to invest in helping leaders do better. And that's how I am spending this phase of my career. My two books came out in the same year. One I co-wrote, The Psychological Safety Playbook, which I co-wrote with Caroline Helbig from Bonn, Germany. And then my book, The Boldly Inclusive Leader, came out. These two books play well together and the concepts play well together because psychological safety is foundational to building an inclusive culture. And I don't think you can separate the two. So I love the opportunities I have now to work with clients across industries, both in the for-profit world and the not-for-profit and education worlds, because everyone needs more human, more inclusive leadership.